And I'm Cheryl Hines, actress, director. And this is our nephew, Michael Hines.
I've been in the field of education for over 20 years now. And throughout that time, I've had opportunities to team up with my sister. Early on, I was a language arts teacher who experienced some throat difficulties. So Cheryl literally stepped in and pretty much pantomimed my class for 2 weeks. Later in my career, I ended up teaching special education in a collaborative classroom. And so again, called on Cheryl to share with me some improvisational acting tips that could pretty much help me get through the day in trying to co-teach. Well, today we're teaming up to share with you guys some tips on improvisation that helped me get through those hard times. But our motivation is different now. 6 years ago, our nephew Michael was born, and he has severe cerebral palsy. So more than ever now, it's important to us that teachers find ways to collaborate so that kids like Michael can participate in every single classroom if teachers will hook up to share their special skills. So good luck. Let's hear some improv tips from the expert.
Becky and I have talked a lot about education and teaching and improv, and it did start striking us that they're so similar. Because what I do as an actor, I get thrown into situations all the time. I mean, part of my job is to, even if I get cast into something, let's say I got cast into a show tomorrow, like, let's say Desperate Housewives. For instance. By the way, I didn't get the part, but not bitter. But let's say I get cast in Desperate Housewives, and I show up tomorrow to shoot. It's quite possible that I have never met any of these actors ever. I may suddenly have a kissing scene with James Denton. I'm just saying, it could happen. But what's interesting is I don't know him, never met him, but my job that day is to make out with him. So in my field,
You have to do that.
there's almost never a time you have to get up and make out with a stranger. You're in the wrong field. But one of the things that I've learned, one of the principles that you learn early on in acting, and especially in an improv, is to assume a relationship. So let's say I did have to get up in the morning and make out with James. I have to assume a relationship with him to make it work. I have to assume that he's already my friend. I have to assume that he also wants to make the scene work. He doesn't have to want to make out with me, but he has to want to be a professional actor. He has to want to make it look good for the director, for everybody, so when it shows on Sunday night, it looks like we've fallen madly in love and we're happy to make out with each other. I'm using extreme examples, okay? But if I walked onto the set and assumed that he's probably not gonna like me, he's not gonna like my acting, he probably hates people from Florida, he probably, I could spin everything in my head and start thinking, this is gonna go terribly wrong. He's not gonna wanna do this, and maybe I shouldn't even go. And then you walk onto the set, and that's where you start. You start with this negative, you probably don't wanna do this with me, but, and that's a sure way to get fired off a project, if you're an actor. So, but Becky and I were talking about it, and it's the same principles for teachers, right? So I'm sure with co-teaching, you don't know, it's possible that you walk in, you don't even know somebody.
Real possible.
Okay. So you walk in and you don't know this person, but now you're supposed to spend all day teaching with this person. You have to assume a relationship with them. You have to assume that they want to teach with you. And odds are they do, right? Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter to you if you know if they want to teach with you or not. You should assume that they want to. You should also assume that you want the same things. It's like I was saying, if I was cast onto a show and I show up the next morning and we're shooting a scene, I'm assuming that the other actor wants the same thing. They want this scene to go well. They want it to look good. They want to have a good experience that day. So same with teaching. You show up, you both want the same thing. You want to have a positive experience that day. So, so one of the things about improv that's helpful is to assume a relationship. So let's say, for instance, I don't know any of you. I've met some of you this morning, but let's say you and I. Hi. I don't know you, but I am going to assume a relationship with you. Okay? Sure. Remember last year when we hung out on the beach?
Oh, wasn't it great?
Wasn't it great?
Remember that guy?
I remember that guy.
Oh my
He was gorgeous, and he kept eyeballing you.
No, it was you.
No, it was you. No, it was you. It was you. So that's you're very good. So that's we just assumed a relationship. I feel like I could hang out all day with you, and we could, yeah, we could go. But it's certainly a positive experience to say yes to someone. That's also the number one rule of improv, is to say yes. Just like Becky was saying, the number one rule is to say yes and move the scene forward. So if you were doing an improv and someone said to you, "Good morning, Mom," and
I'm not your mom.
exactly, "I'm not your mom," and scene is over. That would literally, it would be the end of the scene. Because then where does that put me? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were my mom, but I guess you're the cleaning lady? No, I'm not the cleaning lady. So then you're just having to justify what's going on. But so when you say no to an idea that your scene partner has, then you're just killing it. You're not going any farther. There's no place to go with that. But if you say yes to whatever your scene partner throws at you, and this is, like I said, number one rule in improv, then you're moving forward. So, you know, if I said, "Oh, I see you just escaped from the mental facility."
Is it my clothes?
Yes, it's your lack of clothes, actually. Like, just the bikini is not enough. So when you say yes, you're moving forward. And like Becky was talking about, that scene with the other teacher, you're right. If you would have stopped everything and said no, no, you're not going to do that. No, you're not going to do that. Now you're standing in front of people, and really nobody wants to see that. We see that enough at home. But when you say yes, it opens up a whole world, of course, you know. For instance, let's say you and I are doing an improv, okay? And I say, "Oh gosh, your car broke down. We should change the tire."
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes. All right. I've got a wrench. Do you have a pump?
Yeah, but I kind of hurt my arm. Can you do all the work?
Yes, I can. Because I want to get to the conference.
And we work well together.
And we work well together.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So that was great. She said yes to that, and she added information. So it was interesting. We don't always have to agree that, yes, now I'm going to have to do all the work. But you're working together, and it's interesting, and you're adding information. So I'm sure, just like you were saying, if you say no, you're done. You go nowhere. And you have to push through the pain sometimes.
We are experts at pushing through the pain.
Yeah, you have to push. So when your partner makes a choice that you don't love, which, by the way, mine is when a scene partner labels me from another country, and I have to do an accent. It always sounds like a weird Southern Indian accent, no matter where no matter where they label me from. So you know, it's it's not easy. I'll just say that. You know, oh, she's from Paris, and I'm like, hello. But you know, they made me do it. They said I was from Paris. I have to do something, so I make a choice. Which brings me to the next thing about when you're saying yes and. In improv, they teach us to be positive. So it's not that every scene has to be a barrel of laughs. Well, it actually should be. Right? It's improv. But they teach you to be positive in a scene. Because if you went to a show, let's say you paid $20 to go see these people improvise, and every time people got up in front of you, it was, I hate the way you sing. Well, I hate the way you dress. Well, I guess we should just quit our jobs. Yeah, we should quit because you're stupid. I mean, really, would you like to see a whole show of that? I don't think so. So they teach us to be positive. So let's say somebody yell out the worst job you can imagine having. Besides, huh? Bartending. Bartending. Okay. Okay, so let's say I'm a bartender, okay? And you come up to, you're gonna tell me, okay, that I have to work until 4 in the morning. All right, go ahead and give it to me.
What can you do from like 3 o'clock when it's bar and a couple of hours?
You want me to work till 3 o'clock in the morning?
If I want to, probably.
Oh, well, do I want to? I would love to. I'm gonna work till 3 in the morning, and guess what? I'm actually gonna mop the floor. You know what? I'm just gonna stay all night. And I'm gonna clock out. I'm gonna clock out, I'll stay all night, I'll clean, and then I'll come over and do your laundry, and I'll start my next shift. Okay? So, yes. So, a lot of times it's actually a more interesting choice to make it positive. One major idea in improv is to act as if. Okay, so when you're doing an improv, you only have 2, 3, 4 minutes to do an entire scene. So you don't have the luxury of acting out a lot of information and, hi, how are you doing? I'm good, how are you doing? Would you like to sit down? Yes, I would like to sit down. It's not a very interesting improv. So you have to just like get to it and act as if. Okay, and what I mean is, if I, in the scene, want to seem like a know-it-all, then I just come out of the gate acting as if I know everything. I know that that seat is empty because somebody was supposed to be with you, but they didn't show up, did they? No, because you don't know what you're talking about, do you? No! So if you act as if, and you move forward, people will see you as that in an improv. And I'm sure it's true in life. So for instance, let's say we're in an improv and we're at a party, right?
Right.
And we're just talking. Oh, how's it going? How's your wife?
My wife is great, Master.
Thank you. God, you keep flirting with me. Oh, well, what is she up to?
My wife is doing well. She actually is recovering from the near tragic.
Oh my
scenario
God,
that
I
happened.
heard about that near tragic thing, but she's still alive.
Doing well, she is.
She is. She is.
She's not doing well, though.
You keep flirting with me. She's not doing well. You just want me to feel sorry for you, don't you? Yeah, I do.